First I look at the definition of aggregate demand, or I define it. Okay. Then I talk about the SNO and how this aggregate demand shift. Okay. Does anyone remember how I define aggregate demand? Definition of aggregate demand? Yes. Output. Yeah. What are the two market? Yeah, right. Both market, that is goods market and money market, are simultaneously in equilibrium. Okay. That is what we mean by aggregate demand. That means both good market and money market will be simultaneously in equilibrium. Okay. And the slope of this will depend on your value of H, B and alpha. Okay. Alpha is a multiplier. Shift will be happen due to fiscal policy and monetary policy. Okay. And I have given you the formula of fiscal policy multiplier. Okay. Change in Y due to change in government expenditure is alpha G over 1 plus K alpha G B over H. Okay. This I call gamma. Okay. Denoted by gamma. And monetary policy multiplier, change in income due to change in your real money supply equal to gamma B over H. Okay. This is what we have done. Okay. Today I am going to talk about aggregate supply a little bit and want to know, okay, how equilibrium is determined, okay, using aggregate demand and aggregate supply concept. Okay. We have looked at already that in the classical model, okay, aggregate supply is given vertically and the role of aggregate demand is to determine the price level. So this we have done, okay, already. But here I am going to summarize the whole argument in terms of fiscal policy and monetary policy that the government is going to use, okay, in that way. Okay. Let me finish the argument about aggregate supply. So we have in this course two kinds of aggregate supply. One is your classical aggregate supply and second is your Keynesian aggregate supply based on Keynes formulation in the general theory of employment interest money. Okay. Keynesian aggregate supply. Okay. So the classical one that we have done, okay, here aggregate supply is based on the assumption of full employment output. Okay. Wages and prices are flexible. And here agent, you can say consumer and firm don't have money in user. No money in user. Okay. Supply creates its own demand. Okay. And here the supply side factors, okay, your labor force, stock of capital in the economy, okay, and technology determine your aggregate supply. Aggregate supply is vertical, okay, in the case of classical. In the case of Keynesian, okay, Keynesian aggregate supply, if you remember, we have ideal capacity. Assumption is that economy has ideal capacity and involuntary unemployment. Involuntary unemployment. That means economy can produce, okay, or firm can produce as much as it wants at the given price level. Okay. Here wages and prices are sticky. Okay. And economy can produce as much as it wants at the given price level. At the given price level. Why? Because economy have ideal capacity. Okay. Firm are ready to utilize the capacity. Wages and prices are sticky. There is involuntary unemployment. Workers are willing to work at the going wages. They are not getting work. Okay. So here you take output. Here you take price. At the given price level, say P, economy can produce here also. Economy can produce here also. Here also. Okay. Economy are ready to produce. If there is a demand, economy are ready to produce. Okay. So aggregate supply curve is horizontal. This is clear? Yes, no. Okay. So in the case of classical model, we have vertical aggregate supply. In the case of Keynesian, we have horizontal aggregate supply. Okay. That means in the case when we have the Keynesian case, okay, we are talking about the recession period. Economy is going through recession. Okay. We are talking about short term. Okay. In the short term, firm have idle capacity. We are talking about involuntary unemployment. Workers are willing to work, but they are not getting work. Wages are sticky because you have trade union, you have government minimum wage now. Okay, wages are not going to come down in the short term. Prices are sticky also. Okay, so what happened is that firm are willing to supply. Okay, in the economy as there is more demand. Okay, so firm are willing to produce this much of output or this much of output or this much of output, any level of output for the given price. So our aggregate supply curve is horizontal. Okay, given this two kind of aggregate supply, and we know that in the case of aggregate demand, okay, our demand schedule with respect to price is downward sloping. This we have tried. Okay, and it shows because of combination of price and output at which goods market and money market are simultaneously in equilibrium. Okay, are simultaneously in equilibrium. And in case of fiscal policy multiplier, or you can say fiscal policy, okay, when there is an increase in government expenditure, G increases, aggregate demand curve will shift parallel from AD1 to AD2. Okay, in case of fiscal policy, when government is increasing its expenditure for the same price level, aggregate demand curve will shift parallel. But in case of monetary policy, aggregate demand will not shift in parallel, it will shift in a non-proportional way. This part is clear? We have derived this one. Okay. So when there is an increase in real money supply, okay, aggregate demand will shift in a non-parallel way. Okay. But in case of fiscal policy, it will shift parallel. Okay. Now let me add one more thing. Okay. When we are talking about Keynesian case, okay, in the Keynesian case, let's look at the NM curve. In the Keynesian theory that we have done, money is demanded only for transaction purpose. Only for transaction purpose. And money demand are represented by N, okay, on liquidity preference. So N equal to KY. Okay, that means money is demanded only for transaction purpose. As a medium of exchange, money has only one role, that is medium of exchange. Okay, let me rub this part and then do it. So when I am writing like this, okay, N equal to KY, or money demand, you can write money demand, okay, is money dependent on your income. When I am drawing with respect to rate of interest, my money demand, how it will look like? I am saying my money demand depend only on income. Okay, but when I am drawing this as, sorry, rate of interest here. When I am drawing money demand with respect to rate of interest, how it will look like? Vertical, right? It is independent of your rate of interest. Everyone agree? There is one Hindi video about the NM curve where I have discussed this thing. Okay, so this is your money demand and this will be your money supply in the economy. Okay, that means this represents your equilibrium. Okay, and when I plot the NM curve based on that, okay, NM curve will be vertical. Okay, so in the Keynesian case, the NM curve is vertical. Okay, Keynesian case, if you remember, okay, I have talked about liquidity trap. So this is the money demand after a certain rate of interest. Okay, you will be having perfect inelastic money demand cycle or liquidity preference cycle. Okay, so this will be your liquidity preference cycle or money demand cycle. In this sense, if you increase the money supply, say from M by P1 to M by P2, there will be no change in rate of interest. there will be no change in rate of interest in this range. Okay, so case is talk about this liquidity trap, that monetary policy will be ineffective. Okay, so when there is no change in rate of interest and we have 2 points of money market equilibrium, one point is this one point is this one. Okay, so I can draw my NM curve horizontal in the case of Keynesian. Okay, this is also I have discussed in the video that I have done in Hindi. You can look at it. Okay, the NM curve in the case of Keynesian range will be horizontal. In the case of classical case, it will be horizontal. Okay, I am doing this because tomorrow I am going to use this one. Okay, that is why I am providing the background also, and the focus will be here, but I will be discussing this part also. Okay, then tomorrow it will be much easier. Okay, now let me introduce aggregate demand. Okay, so first I am talking about classical case. So in the classical case, our aggregate supply curve is vertical. This is long-run aggregate supply, you can write long-run aggregate supply, and this is full employment output, and this is price level. And in terms of NM, okay, NM curve will be vertical also. Here you write rate of interest, here you write output. Okay, here it is Y star. Okay, now if you remember aggregate demand, okay, aggregate demand we derive from this equation MV equal to PY in the classical case. Everyone remember? MV equal to PY. Okay, so we will derive the aggregate demand. This is my aggregate demand in the classical case. Okay, or this you can draw the IS curve also here. This is IS. This is rate of interest, equilibrium rate of interest in the classical case, and this is the price level, equilibrium price level in the classical case. So I have determined equilibrium price level, output level in the classical case, and employment you can determine in the labor market through labor demand and labor supply. And this is the rate of interest that I derived, okay, using ISNM model. Okay, in the classical case we have derived using saving investment. In the ISNM model I can derive like this also, rate of interest. Suppose there is an increase in real money supply, okay, say M by P increases. Okay, when M by P increases, what will happen? NM curve will shift rightward, that is okay. Here aggregate demand will shift also. It will be proportion shift or non-proportion shift. No, non-proportion, no, like this. First you will be having more gap, then gap will be closing down. Okay. AD1, AD2. This is AD1, this is AD2. Okay. So what happened? Okay, is that increase in the price level from P1 to P2. Why this is happening? Look at this one. At the given price level, when real money supply increases, okay, there is more money in the system, changing same amount of goods, okay. For the same price level, demand will increase because people have more money. Money have only one role, transaction purpose, okay. Demand for goods increases above Y star. Since people don't have money in region, okay, wages and prices are completely flexible. In the long run, I am talking about in the long run. In the long run, what will happen? Prices will increase to P2. Okay, so you are increasing money, nominal money supply. Prices will increase in proportion. Okay, so there will be no change. Look at here. Okay, what will happen? When you increase, your NM curve will shift to the rightward. Money supply. Okay, say here it is based on money supply M1, price is P1. Increase the money supply to M2, price is P1, it goes here. Okay, but here output is more than your full employment output, so price will rise to P2. When price will rise to P2, your NM curve again go back to its original position. Okay, so there will be no change. Okay, no change here. So you will be not having this curve in the long run. You will stuck here, and this will be equal to M2 by P2. Can you everyone? Yes, no. When you increase the nominal money supply, okay, NM curve will shift rightward, okay, but there is no money in region in the classical case. Wages and prices are completely flexible. Prices will increase in proportion to increase in money, nominal money. So NM curve will shift to its original position, okay. So what will happen in the long run? Your NM curve will not shift; it will stay in the same position, okay. In the aggregate demand, aggregate supply schedule, you can show by this graph. Graph is clear? Okay, so you have to show this way that there will be no change in the ISNM framework, okay, because when there is increase in nominal money supply, price will increase in proportion, so NM curve will remain in the same position, okay. So economy will be having same equilibrium rate of, this is real rate of interest, okay, same equilibrium rate of interest and full employment output level, whereas in the product market or in the aggregate demand aggregate supply framework, okay, we can see that same level of output in equilibrium has now higher price level, okay. So this is what you have in the Keynesian case. Now let me look at the Keynesian case. Keynesian case, basically we are focusing on this liquidity trap part, okay, liquidity trap part, that is what we are focusing. So in the Keynesian case, understand this case, okay, because it is more open logical kind, okay. If you understand the logic, it will be clear. Here you write price in your output, okay, and here you will be writing rate of interest and output. In the Keynesian case, aggregate supply curve is horizontal, okay. Now here my NM curve will be like this. You can draw anywhere, okay. This is my IS curve. This is equilibrium output. I just write Y here because this can be below full employment output. This is my full employment output. This is the output in the economy. That means we have unemployment equilibrium in the economy. Okay. Here I have drawn the aggregate demand. The aggregate demand determines output. Okay. Same output level, and this is the price level in the economy. Okay. If I increase the money supply, okay, look at this one. If I increase the money supply from M to M1 to M2, okay, there is no change in rate of interest. Okay, so there is no change in rate of interest. On the money, people are funding with them. Okay, I cannot increase the output by taking monetary policy. In the Keynesian range, I cannot increase the output by taking monetary policy. What I have to do? I have to take fiscal policy. I have to increase government expenditure. Okay, by increasing government expenditure, okay, aggregate demand curve will shift rightward from 81 to 82. Okay, economy will be at higher equilibrium level of output, say Y2, for the same price level. Same thing I can show with ISNM model. Okay, when government increase expenditure, your IS curve shift rightward from IS to IS1, and equilibrium output increases from Y to Y2. Okay, so rate of interest is not changing, you will be having higher output. This I have talked already and discussed already that monetary policy will be ineffective in the Keynesian case. Okay, that is why Keynes is talking about that government intervention is required if economy has to come out of recession. Okay, it is the only government expenditure that can bring economy out of recession, because if there is increased money supply, okay, it is not going to reduce the rate of interest. If rate of interest is not going to come down, okay, people firms are not going to invest. Okay, and during recession, okay, one more thing is that inducement to invasiveness. So it is the government expenditure, okay, that need to be done in order to take out economy from the recession. Okay, so these two cases you have when we are talking about aggregate demand curve and aggregate supply curve interaction. Can you everyone? Okay, so I will stop here.